Okay, video 3 of MEAP Released items. Let's start with number 11 now. It says, Christina and Juan are standing still on their rollerblades. What happens when Christina pushes Juan from behind? So, remember that they're on rollerblades. Rollerblades. And so that means there's very little friction. And when Christina pushes in this direction, that's going to send Juan also in this direction. But this force of her push will also push backwards due to one of Newton's laws. Off the top of my head, I think it's the second law. But so the force forward will cause a force backward, and since Christina has very little friction, Christina will also move backward. So looking at the choices, the best choice is C. She moves backward, and he moves forward. Okay. Moving forward for us, here's an example, number 12, where you have yet another table or graph to analyze, and the science MEAP has a lot of that. And you really need to look at the table or the graph and look at the labels. So here, oops. Let's see, let's fix that. Alright, here they talk about relative intensity, and they have this symbol here, dB. And then here we have frequency and something Hz. And if you don't know what it is, usually somewhere on the table or the graph it'll give some sort of explanation. And here it says 0 dB, which is decibels, represents the softer sounds that the average person can hear. Some people can hear even softer sounds. So it talks about the loudness of a sound. Frequency has to do with how high or low it is, and that is called pitch. Okay, pitch. And so if you notice that it's not a straight line, it's not something like this or even like that. It goes kind of around the whole thing. So threshold of pain is found right on the outside. So it can be loud, and it could also have a low pitch. It can be loud, and it also can have a high pitch. The line ends up over here. It can be soft and also have a high pitch. And you know, it's not super low pitch, but it's in this quadrant of our graph too. So we can say that it can be soft, and it can have a low pitch as well. So it's found in every portion of the table here, of the graph. So according to the graph above, the threshold of pain caused by sounds depends on, well, it's found in all areas. So that means it could be high pitch or low pitch. It could be loud. It could be soft. So best answer is C. Depends on both frequency and loudness, not just one or the other. Okay, moving on. 13. As altitude increases, the density of the air around the balloon decreases. Alright, which graph below shows the relationship? So, as altitude goes up, density goes down. You can see that. So let's take a look. So here we have altitude, and this is altitude increases. And here's density, and this is density decreases down here. So as altitude goes up, density goes down. So here we start off with density at a very high point. It's a high density. And as altitude, and here's a low altitude. So as altitude increases, we have density going down. And that's why the line is in this direction. Right here. Whoops. Come on. Alright. So correct answer is 13. You should also check. You run across the choices and you say, oh, I think it's A. Well, let's double check here. Here's altitude. This one is, as altitude increases, density also increases. So it's not B. Here we have a straight line. So as altitude increases, density remains the same. Stays at this point. And here we have, as altitude increases, well, what's happening here? Density is increasing, so we automatically know that's wrong. But then at some point, at this point right here, it levels off and stays the same. Okay, so the correct answer is, again, letter A. Alright, we'll stop here. We'll make this kind of a short one. See you on video number 4.